Hello and welcome back to the Keep Bright On, a Birmingham City podcast brought to you from us here at Birmingham Live. I'm Reach football correspondent Brian Dick, and I'm joined today by a very special guest to discuss Blues' new winger, Ibrahim Osman. Before joining Blues on loan from Brighton, the 21-year-old came through at the Right to Dream Academy in Accra, Ghana, and then signed for Danish first division team, Nordsjælland. With that in mind, we're happy to have Flemming Pedersen on the podcast. Flemming knows Ibrahim as well as technical director of both Nordsjælland and the Right to Dream Academy. Flemming, thank you very much for your time. How's the pronunciation so far?
It's very, very good, Brian.
Thank you very much. Flemming, I'm as interested in the Right to Dream Academy and the pipeline that it supplies to European football as I am in, I understand you call him Osman, in Osman's journey to Birmingham City. Can you tell us a little bit about your role with Right to Dream and how it came about and what you're doing there now?
My primary role with Right to Dream is to make sure that our coaches and technical staff that they follow our methodology. That means training methodology and follow the way we want to develop our players in our style of play. So in our different academies around the world, we play same style of football and we train in the same way. So developing coaches so they can do this. And then, as the most important thing is to make sure that we have a very, very good environment based on like psychological safety and trust, because in the end, it's the environment or our environment that are making the individual players flourish.
So, how would a young man like Osman, or a young boy, I guess at the time maybe, how would they find themselves recruited to the academy?
Yeah, they are recruited. We have a lot of scouts, and Ibrahim Osman was recruited from a very tough area in Accra called Nima, the same area where Mohammed Kudus is from, mm-hmm. And others of our academy graduates, then they're invited into the academy and get full school and a full football education until they are 18 years old, and then they the ones that choose school, they leave earlier for school in primarily US, but the ones that take the football path, they obviously need to wait until they're 18 years old before they can play in Europe or other places.
Just you've named Mohammed Kudus there. It's not just Ibrahim and Mohammed Kudus that the academy's produced, is it? There's a long line of players that people would know quite well, isn't there?
So from the Right to Dream Academy in Ghana, you probably know Simon Adingra, playing in Sunderland now, mm-hmm. Kamaldeen Sulemana, who had a spell in Southampton, now in Atalanta. That's some of the boys, and from one of the other academies in Denmark, from Nordsjælland, players like Mikkel Damsgaard, Mathias Jensen, Patrick Dorgu, Emiliano Marcondes, so several players that have played in English Premier League. In total now we have 18 academy graduates playing in the 5 biggest leagues in Europe.
And just explain to me, please, the relationship between the academy and Nordsjælland.
Yeah, the relationship is that Right to Dream is a football community, and Right to Dream bought FC Nordsjælland in December 2015. So it's Right to Dream that owns FC Nordsjælland, and then the Right to Dream as mentioned, has an academy in Ghana. They have an academy in Egypt, and all academies are with boys and girls, and a professional men's team and women's team in Egypt too, just like in Denmark. And then the last club here was that Right to Dream, together with Siquan, the native tribe in San Diego, acquired San Diego FC, where our academy there started in August. But the MLS team already played a full season with a lot of success.
Would you know much about Ibrahim's how old he was when he first came to the academy, and his family background and his early life?
Yeah, I'm not that familiar with his early life, because he joined Right to Dream before, like I came into the into Right to Dream. So I was in Brentford at that time, and I rejoined Right to Dream and FC Nordsjælland in November 2016. And here Osman was already in the academy. But I remembered him when he was 14, 15 years old. That was the first time I watched him, and he was quite a late maturer. He was a very little boy at that time, and then suddenly he during COVID, primarily where there was no training in the academy, then he came back and almost looked like a man. So a lot happened with him in 1.5 year.
And how did he compare once he returned, sort of to be this more developed physically young man? How did he compare to the other lads and teenagers that were in the academy?
Yeah, he was from the 2004 year group, and that year group, they were not, as I remember, not that big. So suddenly Osman, he was the biggest, and then he could, suddenly he could also perform. That you could always see that he had the technical qualities, but he also got the speed and power to use his qualities. So he went from what we can call a potential good footballer to suddenly a very good performer too.
And I guess it's, as you come to graduate the academy, if you are the right kind of player or good enough, you inevitably end up in Nordsjælland, right? Is that the pathway?
Because we have a little step in between that when they're 16 years old, then the best ones we select for our international academy. And that's a group of players, our best 16, 17-year-old players from our different locations. So we make sure that they play international tournaments together, and they are training together. So we give them 2 years of education, before they step into men's professional football. But the first year, or the first little year of this education, it was under COVID. So Osman missed half a year of education in the international academy.
I can imagine that would have made what I guess is a tricky or a challenging transformation from growing up in Ghana to being in Denmark. And I just think of the weather difference and the different footballing cultures. Can it be quite a difficult transition phase? And how did he cope with that?
In fact, Osman, like most of our other boys, they cope really well. But as you say, the weather and the food, That is the two most difficult things. And in the start, when Right to Dream took over FC Nordsjælland, then the European style of football was also a challenge. But because we now have the same training methodology and so on, then the style of football is no more a problem.
And how did he settle at Nordsjælland?
That went really well. Like most other of our graduates, they the first half year, the first 6 months, and that was from January 23. The first 6 months, like they are getting used to play in the Danish Superliga. They are getting used to play men's football, and then after these 6 months, then they excel. That was the same with Mohamed Kudus. Kamaldeen was an outlier because he excelled from day one.
Right.
And but I would also say he's the only outlier that we have had in that sense.
So Osman he obviously had a great season with Nordsjælland, because before you know it, Brighton are interested. Was there a lot of interest in him as he was proving himself in Danish football?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know in fact how much interest. I was not that close, so I heard that of course that Brighton were there with a very good offer, and they really wanted him. But I don't know how many other clubs. I'm familiar with West Ham too, but then I'm a little insecure of how many other clubs that were serious that really wanted Osman. Like we would like to have kept him a little longer because we thought he needed still a little more education. But of course, when it's when big clubs comes and it's we are speaking about big money for him and his family, then we also understand that he and his advisors, that they want to do a move.
Den did move to Brighton, as you say, in 2024. He was loaned to Feyenoord, spent the season in Feyenoord, then returned and has spent the first half of this season with Auxerre in France. Have you been able to keep an eye on him and see how he's progressing?
I try to follow all our graduates, but obviously not closely, because I also have a work to do. but it's interesting to see them, and I can see that he can still do his so to speak his things, his dribbling skills, his this speed acceleration, that he can still do this on the highest level. He need more what you can call fluidity or consistency in his game, but he will only get that by like finding a club where at least he can play for one season. It's not always the best to change teams.
I think we saw examples of both of those things when he played for Birmingham against Stoke at the weekend. There were times when, he didn't seem that sure about how the game pattern, and then there were other times when he had the ball at his feet and he just flew past his fullback, got to the byline and put in a couple of really dangerous crosses. So we did see those very raw attributes. If Osman gets a fair wind and his luck with injuries and a sequence of games, what is his potential, do you think?
So for a top team in Premier League, playing in Champions League too, because first of all, his physicality, he is extreme agile and very, very powerful, and he can also score goals. Not only with his feet, he's also a decent header. But he's so strong. So again, when he's like being taught to get a little more clever, to be a little more clever in the game, because sometimes he's also making things too difficult. Like then he wants to take on a player 1v1 on the wing instead of like Leao from Milan. Just take a long touch, and then Osman will easily get past the opponent. So he needs an even better variation, because he can do both. And we also used him as a number 9, not only as a left winger, because he's also very good in the box, and he has these. He's strong and can push away opponents, and he's so quick on his feet too. So he's really what you can call a handful in the box too.
Lovely. Flemming, thank you very much. We hope to see all of those attributes in the second half of this season with Birmingham City. Flemming, I want to thank you for your time. I think I'm right in saying that you're currently on camp in Portugal with Nordsjælland. Is that right?
That's right. Yes, we will have a couple of friendlies tomorrow, and then we are going back to cold Denmark.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time. All that remains now, everybody, is to bid you all a big keep right on from both of us.